in a twilight world. Let me just have a quick sip of the coffee. The homemade coffee. I'm so poor at the moment that I'm drinking the homemade coffee out of flask, man. Sometimes when you've got no money, you just have to, change it up a bit, right? And go into budget mode. Anyway, who remembers these things here? I don't know what you call them. It's a charity box, and you put a coin in and it spins like a spinny magic charity box or something. I don't know. But I'm sure you recognize these, yeah? Definitely if you're from the UK, you'll know these. But back in the day, you used to see these knocking about everywhere. Always there'd be one in a McDonald's, in shopping centres, in the arcade. Definitely always outside of a food takeaway place, right? They're still around now, but they're quite rare, obviously, because we're in a cashless society. Not many people have got the coins rattling around in their pockets, but they are still around. I've definitely seen them. But you know how it goes. You put the coin in here, and it goes around, and it's interesting. It has the hypnosis pattern, and then it goes down the hole, right? We'll look at a different angle here. Whatever your mum or your dad or your nanny or granddad will give you like a 1p or a 2p and let you go on it. But I remember as a kid being a dumbass and just putting it right in the slit and it just goes shoot straight down there instead of the proper way to do it, man, where you've got to put your coin on here. It says place coin here, let it go. And then obviously it rolls down, and as it's obviously going down the hill, it's picking up speed. But the circumference is getting smaller and smaller, so it gets faster and faster and faster and faster, and then whoosh down the black hole. Now, a lot of people out there are saying or using this as the metaphor as to why time is moving so fast. Yeah? As you all know, we're calling it the quickening. We know that since 2020, the speed of time, or how we perceive time, is getting ridiculously fast. So some people are saying, we were here on these big, longer revolutions, and now as we're getting closer to the black hole, the revolutions, as in the sun going down and going up again, a day and a week and a month and a year, it's getting smaller and smaller. That's why it's getting faster and faster. So we're essentially about to go down, or we're getting closer to going down the black hole. Now, whatever the black hole is, I don't know, that could be death. Yeah, the death of you subjectively, the death of your consciousness, or the death of this reality. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because, it's only death in this reality. We'll come back in another reality and so on. It could be the moment we reach the singularity, or the moment there's a new earth is born. I don't know, the moment the multiverse opens up, the moment you suddenly wake up from this dream that is the human experience, or you take off your VR goggles. I don't know. We don't really know what the black hole is and what happens in the black hole, but I like this concept. This is a good analogy, right? The spinning of a coin, the revolutions, getting, the distance, the length of the circles getting smaller, yet the speed is going quicker. It kind of makes sense, right? I think it's become very normalized now, the rate at which, or the speed of which time is going. We're all kind of normalized to it now. It's been going on for at least 5 years. We've become used to it, right? We've adapted to it. But I look back to when I was 20 years old, and the amount of things I used to get done in one day. Now I'd be lucky if I get them things done in 1 week. I sit back and I look back to when I was 20 and I think, how the fuck did I fit that all in one day? I'll give you an example, and I don't mean to be crude and talk too much about my personal life, but I'll say how a day is, yeah? I used to wake up, yeah, have my big bodybuilding breakfast and pack my lunch for the day. I'd go and kiss my girlfriend goodbye. We'd end up having sex, right? You know how it is when you're young. You fuck like rabbits. Then I'd quickly go to the gym. I'd do some abs and about 15 minutes of cardio. Then I'd travel an hour to work. I'd go and do 8, maybe 10 hours on a construction site. Yeah. Drive an hour back. Go to the gym and do a proper hour-long workout. Go and meet up with my girlfriend and do some sort of activity. I don't know, whatever. Go and watch a film. Go out or just hang around in the park or whatever. Smoke weed. You know what you used to do when you was young. Come home. Have sex again. Have a shower. And then go to bed. And then sometimes have sex again. Now, how the fuck did I fit all that in one day? It's mad. It's mind-blowing. Now I struggle to fit gym in. Going to the gym, I do 3 days a week now, and that's about it. Like, if I went gym every day, I would have no time for anything else. It's like these videos. This week, I thought I was going to hit it hard, and I thought I'm going to do at least a video a day. I just can't find the time, man. I'm going to do this little video here. I'm going to do maybe a bit of a longer one afterwards. But the intentions of me doing, like, the videos, conversations, filmmaking I had in my head is just not happening because I just can't find the time. The time is just not there. Maybe it's subjective, maybe it's just me, but I've also heard through the community and through other people that they're experiencing time the same way, and so are young people. That's the weird thing. Because the common theory is that as you get older, obviously a year is a less of a fraction of your life. So when you're 4 years old, 1 year is a quarter of your life. Yeah? When you're 30 years old, 1 year is 1/30th of your life. And as you go on, a year is less of a fraction, therefore it's less meaningless, and and so on and so on. And that's a good theory, that makes sense. I would call that like the very kind of like atheist theory. But maybe it's more than that, I don't know. It's a fascinating fascinating concept and topic, time, probably one of my favourite topics of all. I also love a good time travel film. And a book I recommend, an audio book, I only listen to audiobooks, don't read it, but you can read it if you're a reader, is Anthony Peake's The Labyrinth of Time. Although he doesn't actually get to any kind of conclusions about what time is and if we can do anything about time, the angles that he comes in at, looking at these at time in all the multiversal spectrums of ways you can look at time is brilliant. It's a good book. And I remember one of the things he said is, a clock, a tick-tock clock, a circular clock, that's not really measuring time, that's measuring distance, isn't it? And a digital clock isn't measuring time either. It's just inside there's like a quartz crystal vibrating. Now, I think the reason, we do this whole crazy thing of moving the clocks back an hour or moving them forward, daylight savings or whatever they say. And they say, oh, it's a tradition because of farmers and that. I think really that we have to keep doing that, because if we didn't mess around with clocks twice a year, we just let them run on, the clocks would not line up with where they should be. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I noticed the clock in my car over a year will slowly come out of alignment with my clock or the clock anywhere else, right? It seems by the end of the year, it will be 20 minutes slower. So I think if we never had the whole daylight savings, moving the clocks back and forward, and we just continuously left the clock running, I reckon you'd start to see that those clocks that are measuring distance are not going to line up with our activity, with the sun rising and going down, what we call a day. Someone suggested this to me about 2 years ago, and I never really got around to doing it, but we should go buy one of them egg timers, the hourglass with the sand, one that we know has been made, like, say, in the 50s, and measure it and see if the hourglass from, say, the 50s is still the same minute that we have now. That would be an interesting thing to do. Anyway, we live in a twilight world. There are no friends at dusk.